when you retain those customers, your lifetime value increases. And when your lifetime value increases, you can afford higher customer acquisition cost. And that lets you scale faster. Today, we're going to talk about something that I get asked about all the time. That's conversion rate. It's one of those numbers that every e-com founder watches like a hawk. And for good reason. If you've ever stared at that percentage, seen it dip, and thought, right, we need to fix the website, this episode's for you. Because the biggest mistake I see founders make when they talk about conversion rate is believing that it's solely a website problem. It's not. Conversion rate is an ecosystem metric. It's a reflection of everything you do, from the traffic you attract, the way your offer's positioned, how well your customers trust you, all the way to what happens after the sale. So today we're going to break that down. We'll look at every stage of the journey, from traffic to checkout and even beyond. And I'll show you the levers you can pull to lift your conversion rate the right way. I'm Jason Chappel, founder of Defiant and creator of eCommerce Growth Made Easy. I help e-commerce founders grow profitably, not just by making more sales, but by building systems that scale. All right, so let's dive in and let's talk about why your website isn't the problem. When I work with e-commerce founders, the first thing they tell me when conversion rate dips is, we need to change something on the website. And I guess it kind of makes sense, right? The website is where the sale generally happens, and it's where people drop off. But here's the thing. By the time someone lands on your site, a huge amount of the conversion battle is already decided. Let me explain. If your ads are bringing in the wrong people, your site could be perfect, and it just won't matter. If your offer doesn't make sense to your audience, no layout change will save it. And if people don't, conversion problems are upstream problems. They start before anyone ever visits your site. Think of your website like a shop floor. If you bring in a crowd of people who have no interest in what you sell, the issue isn't your display, it's who you brought through the door. So before you start split testing your buttons or moving your product images, you need to ask, are we bringing in the right people? Are we speaking their language? Are we making it easy for them to say yes? Because fixing conversion isn't about like micro optimization. It's about aligning your entire customer journey from the first click to the last. But let's be very clear. You can and should absolutely still be doing conversion rate optimization on your site. So let's start at the top with traffic. Most founders measure traffic quantity, but conversion rate doesn't care about volume. It cares about relevance. You could double your traffic and your conversion rate could drop simply because your new audience isn't the right fit. And just to be 100% clear, that drop in conversion rate doesn't mean fewer sales. In fact, it likely means more sales, but just not as many people as a percentage of your total visitors are buying. So how do you improve traffic quality? First, you start with your targeting. You target intent, not interest. An interest audience might like what you sell. An intent audience is ready for what you sell. It's like selling skincare to everyone who follows beauty brands when you could target people searching for solutions to dry skin. Second, you've got to make sure your ads and your landing pages match. If your ad says, get premium skincare designed for sensitive skin, and your landing page just talks about hydrating moisturizers, there's a disconnect. The person clicking came for one reason, but landed somewhere generic. Third is your message to market fit. Your ads need to attract your ideal customers, not the ones that click the most. If you're running a premium brand, don't chase bargain hunters with discounts. the traffic you buy goes a hell of a long way in determining the conversion rate you'll get, because your website can only convert what you send to it. Now, once you've got the right people landing, this is where your site comes into play. There are 4 pillars to focus on: clarity, trust, ease, and offer. Let's look at clarity first. Ask yourself this: can a new visitor understand what you sell, who it's for, and why it's different within 5, ideally 3 seconds of landing? If the answer is no, you're probably losing people. The page your potential customer lands on needs to say 3 things really clearly: what you sell, who it's for, what problem it solves or benefit it gives. And a pro tip: don't start with we or your brand name. Start with your customer so that they immediately see themselves in your product. For example, instead of saying, "we make eco-friendly skincare," say something like, "soothe your sensitive skin with clean, eco-friendly skincare that actually works." It gives you instant relevance. The next one is trust. Trust is invisible until it's missing. And when it's missing, people bounce. Add reviews, UGC, testimonials, guarantees, delivery timelines, and clear return policies to your site. You might not be able to attribute sales directly to these, but they grease the wheels. They take away friction and make people feel safe. Because in e-commerce, people only buy when they feel certain. And really closely tied to trust is ease. It's really simple. Make it as effortless for someone to buy as possible. Fast load times, mobile first design, one-click payment, no unnecessary friction. And for the love of conversion, if someone adds to cart, please don't make them create an account just to check out. And the last thing is your offer. Your offer is your silent salesperson. And the key to getting this right is asking yourself, is it clear, valuable, and motivating? Could you make it more compelling with bundles, loyalty perks, or free shipping thresholds? Because here's the thing, increasing AOV is a conversion play. If you can get every buyer to spend 10 to 15% more per order, your profit grows exponentially, even if your conversion rate stays the same. Now, we're going to talk about something that a lot of e-commerce brands overlooked. Trust building assets that don't directly show up in attribution, but absolutely influence conversion. Things like press mentions or awards, UGC, real customer stories, and consistent brand tone across all touchpoints. They don't always convert in your analytics dashboard, but they do in the customer's head. For example, seeing your product featured in Vogue might not show as a referral source in Google Analytics, but it definitely shifts perception. It turns a maybe later into, I've seen this brand before, I trust them. So if you've invested in PR, reviews, or community, that's not fluff. It's a foundation. And remember, trust compounds. Every delivery experience, every support interaction, every follow-up email either builds it or breaks it. And you can't buy trust. You earn it through consistency. And here's where a lot of brands stop. At that first sale, where retention is your hidden conversion engine, because your returning customers convert at 3 to 5 times the rate of new ones. If your overall site conversion rate is 2%, your returning visitor conversion rate could be as high as 6 or 8%. So why not invest in that? You could introduce or optimize your post-purchase flows. Like, don't just send order confirmations. Send education, usage tips, and follow-ups that build habit. If you sell supplements, send an email that says, here's what to expect after 7 days of use. Here's what you can expect after 14 days. You can even send reminders for people to use the product so that you're dropping as much value as possible. You can also build in customer feedback loops. Ask people how they found the experience. If there's anything you could be doing better, fix what they tell you. And then don't forget to tell them you fixed it. It's a great sales opportunity. For those customers who have lapsed, put in reactivation campaigns. Win them back with smart, personal offers, not blanket discounts. And it never hurts to do a bit of community building. If you can create a really strong sense of belonging for your customers, you'll never lose, as people buy again and again when they feel part of something. So let's zoom out for a second and talk about the conversion flywheel. Everything we talked about, traffic, offer, trust, experience, retention, they all connect. When you improve traffic quality, your conversion rate rises. When your conversion rate rises, you can acquire customers cheaper. When you retain those customers, your lifetime value increases. And when your lifetime value increases, you can afford higher customer acquisition cost. And that lets you scale faster. That's the flywheel of profitable growth. But most brands never reach it because they're stuck tweaking their homepage instead of fixing their strategy. The real goal isn't just to increase conversion rate. It's to build a system where every sale feeds the next. Now, if you're still with me and thinking, okay, Jason, but where do I even start? Here's what I tell every e-commerce merchant I work with. Step 1, audit your traffic. Look at who you're bringing in and whether they match your best customers. Step 2, fix your message to market fit. Make sure your ad promise matches your landing page and offer. Step 3, simplify your website. Make your value clear, your checkout frictionless, and your offer easy to understand. And step 4, layer in trust and social proof. Not as decoration, but as reassurance. And step 5, build your retention engine. Email, SMS, loyalty, and post-purchase nurturing. So if your conversion rate feels stuck, the answer isn't another redesign. It's looking at your whole customer journey, from click to repeat purchase, and tightening every link in the chain. When you fix the system, not just the site, you don't just increase conversion, you build consistency. And if you want help mapping this out, join my e-commerce growth made easy community on School. You'll find frameworks, calculators, and training to help you do this yourself at your own pace. The link's in the description. And remember, conversion isn't simply a design problem, it's a decision problem. Go fix the system and the numbers will follow. I'll see you in the next one.